man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. How about the NFL offseason so far?
Man, there have been a lot of crazy big picks this year. A lot of crazy trades I'm really shocked about.
Yeah,
Man, Brady to the Bucks, Gronk to the Bucks, Hopkins to the Cardinals, and the Falcons picked up Gurley. He just recently passed his physical yesterday,
that's good.
so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, how do you think he's going to do? Do you think he's going to stay healthy?
I like to hope so. If he passes his physical, that means that, hopefully he'll do something good. Just
Yeah,
hopefully
but
his leg don't get messed up. I know he's going to be better than Freeman.
yeah, I mean, you can pass physical, but still isn't. I mean, you still have to take an NFL hit, you know?
Yeah, well, if Gurley's the man he says he is, I think he'll do good, but I don't see the Falcons taking it all the way to the Super Bowl this year. Definitely not.
You think they'll make the playoffs?
I feel like they're going to make the first part of the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to make it to the second part, especially with the new setup they put this year with the playoffs. Now it's like,
Seven
uh,
teams, right?
I think so, yeah. And there's going to be more teams on. I think there's only two teams on bye.
Yeah, I think it's only the top. I think it's only the one seeds that are a bye, and the rest of the seeds play.
Yeah, well, I just hope something good happens, but at the same time, I'm kind of wanting them to lose, only because, which I don't know what the future holds from, but uh, if the Falcons were to get a good pick, I'd like for them to go ahead and get a new quarterback just to be safe, and they go
Yeah,
ahead and let's pick up Trevor.
and just you think they're going to tank for the number one pick?
That's a possibility. A lot of people think the Patriots are going to do that now.
I
They
don't
lo-
think so.
they lost the one of the greatest quarterback ever now and he's going to the Buccaneers. So,
Yeah. The
but
Bucks are all in, and I can't wait for them. I'm so excited, because this is the first time they've been relevant since like 2007, the last time they made the playoffs.
yeah, now they got rid of Winston. I think they'll have something good going on. As for him, I think didn't he sign back up to the Saints now?
Yeah, which
What?
is a really good thing for Jameis, I think, so he can learn behind arguably you can another top 10 quarterback of all time in Drew Brees and a good coach in Sean Payton.
Yeah, and Cam Newton, he ain't really went nowhere. I feel bad for him. They're saying he might go to the Pats, but that's a high risk with him. I mean, not to say he's a bad quarterback. I think he's amazing,
He's
but
just not durable. He always gets hurt.
yeah, I think he needs more training done, and I think he could get it. But I mean, when that man plays, when he wants to get into beast mode, he can get into beast mode.
See, the thing with Cam, I think he's going to hold out until, let's just say, like a major quarterback injury. And if Jacksonville thinks Gardner Minshew isn't the answer, he's going to Jacksonville because there's no state income tax. It's never cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jacksonville's a decent city. I don't know if you've ever been there before, but I've been there a couple times. I like Jacksonville. It's a decent city. It gets the job done. It's the only problem with Jacksonville is so many stoplights.
Yeah, makes sense. I ain't never been there. I'd love to go there. I think it'd be fun to see more of these states to see where these teams come from. But um, as of right now, I'm just patient waiting. But I know one of the other big things to happen was with Hopkins going to the Cardinals playing with Larry Fitz. That's, I think, going to be a shocker. As long as the O line stays good and the defense stays strong, that's going to be a tough team to beat. You've got two of the best wide receivers going, along with a phenomenal quarterback who held really, really high rankings.
Yeah, then you got Christian Kirk. He's another deep threat, unless if you want to put Fitzgerald in the slot because he's getting a little older.
Hmm.
And then it's just ridiculous. If they don't have an offensive line, Kyler Murray's going to end up like Andrew Luck. Great talent, but if he gets sacked all the time, he's like, this isn't any fun anymore.
That's the same thing that happened with the Cardinals' last quarterback, Josh Rosen. He was a first round pick, and
Mm-hmm.
they sent him to Miami, and neither teams had a good O line to keep him defensed. From what I was told, I don't know if it's true. I heard there's rumors going around that he's going to be going to the Steelers because I haven't heard nothing more about him anymore. And if he goes to the Steelers, that's going to be a really good thing for him to practice behind one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
Yeah, Roethlisberger. He can learn a lot of stuff. And plus Mike Tomlin. They're probably the most consistent franchise. Them, the Packers. Throughout NFL history. The last 20 years, you can put the Patriots, obviously, because they have the greatest quarterback and coach of all time.
Hmm.
But, you look total, the Packers forever, since Lombardi. And then the Steelers, ever since they hired Chuck Noll in the 70s. When they won 4 Super Bowls,
Yeah.
5 Super Bowls. No, four.
Uh,
Four in the 70s.
yeah. As of right now, I know them, and I think the Patriots are tied right now for most Super Bowls in history.
Yeah, but the Green Bay has the total because, like, for example, like the Stanley Cup,
Mhm.
they don't count. They count Stanley Cups past like before 1967 because 1967 was the first NHL expansion year. In the NFL, they only count Super Bowls since Super Bowl one. But
Yep.
if you go before that, I mean, the Packers have like 13, a
Yeah.
ton, and some of the greatest NFL players of all time.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, that certain leagues have been around for a really long time, which is why they created like the AFC and the NFC. It
Yeah,
was originally just the NFL and the AFL, and then they combined together, and now we're here almost 100 years later since since those two combined.
yeah.
101 now since we're getting into our 101 season. But I don't know. I'm just hoping that maybe this season something big will happen, some big trades and stuff. Like a while back, I think before Gurley got sent to the Falcons, there was rumors about Chubb wanted to come to the Falcons, and they told him no.
I don't know why the Browns would trade Nick Chubb. I mean, I wouldn't say he's the best player on the team, but he's
Hmm.
pretty good because when you have OBJ, Jarvis Landry, Baker Mayfield, if he has a consistent coach, and then Nick Chubb, I mean, you have some players too. Miles Garrett's coming back from his suspension when he clocked Mason Rudolph in the head with a helmet.
Yeah, don't they got Kareem Hunt now too?
Yeah, if he could stay on the field and not get pulled over for smoking weed on the highway, which is a dumb thing to do, obviously.
Yeah,
But I mean, they have talent. It's just coaching and it's just incompetent front office ownership. The Browns are always going to be horrible as long as the Haslam family owns them.
yeah,
They could have. I mean, they fired Bill Belichick, but that was like the old Browns with like Art Modell before they moved to Baltimore. I mean, but still, that franchise is cursed. You have Bill Belichick as a head coach, Nick Saban as the defensive coordinator, and you still only win 5 games.
yeah. Even like
I mean, come on.
last season, they wasn't even holding up super well. They won more games than what they would have in the past few seasons, but like it's just there was a lot of drama on the field between Miles Garrett and what's his name, Mason Rudolph.
Yeah,
There was problems going on with like wide receivers and situations like that with OBJ and Jarvis Landry, just because like they're two really good wide receivers who literally are like identical. Like I think at the end of the season, I think they split the same,
yeah. I mean, they're
exactly
two
the
number
same.
ones.
So I mean, that's a tough situation right there. And if Baker Mayfield, if he says what he was gonna do, and keeps straight, not want to cause no drama with other people and just worry about football, then I have faith in him because when he got drafted to the Browns, I had high hopes for him. Even though I'm not a Sooners fan, but I had high hopes for him because he's talented. He's got it. Just got to find someone to work with him. And I mean, he's going in head first. He didn't train behind nobody. Tyrod Taylor, but I mean
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Taylor's not a bad quarterback, but I mean he's not the greatest.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrod Taylor, you could say he's like a smaller version of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's just there for a gap year. Except the reason Mayfield started right away is because I think Tyrod Taylor like got a concussion, and then Baker just took off for that first year.
Yeah,
They're like, all right, cool, this is our quarterback.
tied their first game, and I think they won their second,
Hmm.
and that was like a blessing for all of Cleveland.
Yeah, gives them hope. And then the next year after they fire Hugh Jackson, they keep Freddie Kitchens, who's the interim head coach, and then, I mean, the Browns just remember they were the Browns.
Yeah, and for them, they got a pretty. I mean, well, I guess so. They got a pretty hard division to go up against. You're going up against Ben and the Steelers.
Toughest division in football. Lamar and the Ravens.
Yeah, and now you got Joe Burrow with the Bengals. He's gonna be throwing it to AJ Green.
AJ Green, T. Higgins. I mean, the Bengals, I mean, it's going to take some time, but I think slowly that's going to become one of the more entertaining franchises to watch.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, but only time will tell.
Who are your playoff picks this year?
Playoff picks.
Or I'll just say Super Bowl.
I don't know. I've got a lot of interesting teams. I feel like Lamar's gonna take it to the Super Bowl this year.
You think so?
Same way with the Pats, how that situation went. I mean, not the Pats. I'm thinking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Same
Patty
thing with
Mahomes.
Kansas City. I mean, they got really close, but didn't get to it. Didn't get to the Super Bowl. Come the next year, MVP takes it straight to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, the difference between the Chiefs and the Ravens, though, the Chiefs, they had the Patriots beat 2 years ago, except D Ford lined up offsides. The Ravens, like, if you're saying the Ravens are going to be like the Chiefs this year, the Ravens got killed by the Titans. Like, they could not stop Derrick Henry one bit, and they got absolutely destroyed.
And Ryan Tannehill was a monster.
Yeah, Ryan Tannehill just had the game of his life. But, I mean, the Chiefs, they have, you could say, the greatest wide receiver core of all time. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins when he's healthy. Then you got Mecole Hardman. I mean, he's a stud. Then you get all these running backs where you've never even heard of. And the most exciting quarterback to watch, I think. The
Definitely.
closest thing, I mean, you say who is Mahomes compared to? He can't compare to anyone, but, like, you can think of someone. I could say Brett Favre because he just guns it, except he doesn't throw as many interceptions as Favre. And what does he have? Already, like, 100 touchdowns or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, he was breaking records in his, like, first season playing when he actually got to play after Alex Smith left, which is, like, 2 seasons ago. But, that I mean, he's mobile. He's not the fastest, but he can get mobile. He can get through. He can get out of the pocket and slip through and get that first down. I mean, he's got the arm. He's a gun. He's a
gunslinger. Yeah, you're right.
He's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, he can easily throw it probably 70 yards, just like a flick of the wrist, like no worries.
And he didn't even have to look to throw it sometimes, too. And you got
insane.
one of the probably the best tight end to come into the NFL in a long time.
Yeah, Travis Kelce. I forgot about him, too. I mean, you got Hardman, Watkins, Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and then Patrick Mahomes. You, like, all respect to the Baltimore Ravens, you can't beat that. I mean, if you have trouble stopping Derrick Henry, which he's a great player, but that's all the Titans beat you with. Just running the ball, just smash mouth football. Like, if you can't stop one player, how do you expect to stop 5? You know?
I mean, let's see. I know the Ravens they got Lamar, of course. They got Mark Ingram as running back, but I mean, he's getting into his slower times, but he's still as good as he was back when he first got to Saints.
Yeah.
You got what's his name? The cornerback?
Earl Thomas.
Him, but there's the other one they got from the Rams. They traded
Marcus. I know who you're. Well,
it's on the tip of my head. I can't remember. I feel bad now remembering because he's also amazing. He come back really strong after he got traded. I mean, the Ravens altogether. I mean, they got a good. They got Mark Andrews at tight end who. Like, if you play fantasy, he coming like I think second last year in fantasy, right behind Travis Kelce. I mean, they got a good team. They got Marquise Brown, who is Antonio Brown's little cousin, who plays phenomenal. I mean, he's not getting in no trouble though.
Not yet.
I mean, they play phenomenal. I think division-wise for the AFC Championship is going to come down to I think the Chiefs and the Ravens. That's a game I really want to see. And in the NFC. I gotta give it to. I think it's gonna be the Bucks, and I don't know. There's a lot of NFC teams that are gonna do really good this year, and I know the Bucks. I think are gonna get to it, but I don't know who would be the team they're gonna go up against. That's gonna give them a run for their money.
The Bucks are gonna make the playoffs, but I mean they haven't been in it in so long, and they'll have so much pressure this year too because the Super Bowl is in Tampa. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah,
but I still think it's going to be New Orleans versus San Francisco. Because, I mean, you got to knock the top dog off. I mean, San Francisco, they didn't really lose that much, and they were, 10 minutes away, 7 minutes away from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then you got Drew Brees in New Orleans. I mean, the last 3 years, Drew Brees has lost, like, just the Saints in general. The Minneapolis Miracle, the non-pass interference call against the Rams, and then maybe quote-unquote offensive pass interference that Kyle Rudolph got rid of, he got away with against them too. I mean, it's just heartbreak, but I don't know. I mean, it's a toss-up. I just know, I suspect I could see Kansas City coming out of the AFC just because they'll have home field, and, I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to do that well in cold weather because he's a Florida boy. He's Broward County. And then you're going to have either San Francisco or New Orleans. But I could see the Bucks making it. I mean, I'm not trying to be biased, but I mean, the Bucks lost. I don't know how many games, but they lost a lot by one possession or less.
All they really needed was a strong quarterback and
Yeah.
just. I mean, a lot of teams got to go through the O line situation. That's impossible to get past. Is
No,
having a
their
good
O
O
line
line.
sucks.
Yeah, like a lot of teams, like Falcons, like after what season was it? Like when they lost to the Eagles, I think that was like maybe 3 seasons ago now, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That was when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won. After that, is they never shut up again. They had a defense was getting destroyed. All the players was disappearing. Then the next season comes, and like they're still losing certain players, and they can't get off the ground because nobody's wanting to protect Matt, and everyone's covered like crazy. And then you got a running back who gets hurt a lot, and when he gets out there, he slips and falls and drops the ball everywhere.
Yeah.
So I mean, and and Freeman's mad. Freeman's mad that he got kicked off. But I mean,
He got his money.
where was your training? Where were you training? Because nobody's seen anything about you training. The only thing I remember hearing about from him was when it was going to Miami for the Super Bowl. He kept saying, "We're gonna get it. That's my hometown. We're gonna get it. We're gonna go." You didn't hear nothing about him anymore because I mean, he couldn't stay healthy and he couldn't get the ball going.
Yeah.
Gurley, on the other hand, is the kind of person that can get it. That man's a monster. I mean,
If he stays healthy.
as long as he stays healthy, I think he got it, and I feel confident in him this year. I mean, I'm a big Falcons fan, but this is coming. I mean, I'll admit it. Past few seasons, nobody's gotten anywhere. No one's done anything. No one's pushed.
Yeah.
The only people that really have given it is like Ridley, Julio, Matt Ryan's trying his best because I mean the man's stacking up on years, but he could be a future MVP again. He was come close to the year when when Patrick Mahomes went. When Patrick Mahomes won, Matt Ryan was like playing on that kind of level. Even though they didn't win, he was still stacking up on it. Now you got Gurley on there who's wanting to bring it to Atlanta because he's been wanting to come back home to Georgia. I mean, you've got a good O-line that's coming strong this year, picking up new players. We've got Hayden Hurst from Baltimore who's wanting to play good as a tight end since we lost
Austin Hooper.
Yeah, Austin Hooper to the
Cleveland.
Browns. So, I mean, time will tell for the Falcons. I mean, as long as they can keep straightforward and offensive and defensive and head coaches and all that don't mess anything up, I think we got it. Because if we lose this year, that's a big thing, too. I just remembered. If we lose this year, all staff's getting fired. We're losing head coach, offensive, defensive. Everything's going away.
I mean, from what I've seen, the person who doesn't get enough criticism is the general manager.
Dimitrov?
Yeah, Dimitrov, because I don't know if y'all had a big need in corner, but y'all could have traded back and drafted the kid from Clemson, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a big reach because Philadelphia was trying to trade up to get CeeDee Lamb or Jordan Jefferson or that kid from TCU who they ultimately drafted. But you did not need to draft AJ Terrell 16th.
Yeah, I know. That
was stupid.
I couldn't understand that because, like, that was a time we could have got a backup QB because we need a backup because our backup now,
Jordan Love was on the board.
I mean, which I'm also a Bulldog fan. I'm not saying it because he got drafted late, but I mean, Fromm was on the board still. He didn't get drafted till like the 4th or 6th round.
Yeah, 5th round.
And I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. That man had a phenomenal freshman season, made it to the championship, had a really good second season. His third season was well until they got up to LSU. But I mean, that LSU's LSU. That's a monster team.
That team, LSU, they couldn't stop You couldn't stop them on offense.
Clemson couldn't even beat them, and that was Clemson's second year getting up there to the championship in a row, and couldn't handle them. They were just too strong.
Yeah, I mean, and plus the person who covered Jamar Chase, I think, AJ Terrell. That's the person who I think Chase had maybe like 100-something, 150 yards. Then Jordan Jefferson, too, went off. Both on AJ Terrell. So, I don't know. AJ Terrell's going to have a little trouble in the NFC South because he'll be fine, I assume, against Carolina because I don't know who they have. But New Orleans, you got Michael Thomas, and I forget, now Emmanuel Sanders, too. The Bucs, you got Goblin, Evans, maybe Gronk. Well, he's not going to go against Gronk, but, I mean, come on.
Man, I mean, there's some, I don't know. As for the Falcons, I mean, they shit. I mean, I understand they're trying to work on defense. If you notice that whole entire draft, all they did was get defense. They didn't get no offense at all.
It's a
They
bold
wanted
move.
they want to build the defense back to what it used to be when it was like a prime time defense that was nobody could touch because um, Dan Quinn is from he used to
Seattle.
yeah Seattle. He's defensive coach, and at the time when he was there, that was when they had what was it, the Legion of Boom.
Yeah, Chancellor, Thomas, Sherman, and Brandon Browner, I think.
And I mean, he's over here now, and he's trying to get back to that spot because he had it for a minute, and then everyone just started falling apart. Now we're trading off certain players that I don't think we should have got rid of at all. Like we're trading away certain defense we probably shouldn't have got rid of. We traded away Austin Hooper, let him go.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if they have that much faith in Hayden Hurst, then I'm gonna trust him with it. But I mean, if Hayden Hurst ain't what it is, then they really let go of one of the biggest players to ever come to a tight end position. Because I mean, that man was amazing. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was a stud. I don't know when. Like I said, the front office. You know, you can't always blame everything on the coach. I mean, yeah, he's not the best coach in the world, and I'm also not a Falcons fan. But if the front office doesn't get him the players, then what are you supposed to do?
My biggest hope right now for pickups though in the free agency, which he got offered a lot of money and he didn't take it, is Clowney.
Yeah.
He's still in free. He got offered. I think it was a lot of money from the Browns, and he didn't want it. He said no. He said he was looking for the highest bidder, and they offered him so much money, and he said no.
I could see him going to Tennessee.
That'd be a big one. I don't know why Seattle didn't want to pick him back up. I mean,
Money. Salary cap.
well, I mean, the Falcons got a lot of money now from all this stuff. They said they have a big salary, like cap room, where they can sign just. I don't want to say just about anyone, but like they could sign a good bit of players. I mean, if they got the faith, put it in Clowney. I think Clowney could help us really get somewhere. But I mean, that's a position that like I don't know, like, cause I've never really. I don't watch a lot of Houston that much. I mean, Watson, Hopkins, and all them, they're phenomenal. But
Used to be Hopkins. Now they blew that up.
yeah, I know that's crazy. I couldn't believe that. But
Stupid.
like, because I don't even know what position Clowney plays.
Defensive end.
Is the defensive end?
Yeah.
So who is Falcons defensive end? Coming from a Falcons fan, I really don't. I don't know who their defensive end is because they've come and gone players crazy.
They don't have one. Not that I know of. The most underappreciated, I think, is going to be a good defense. The Bucks. Todd Bowles. I mean, you got Devin White. Shaq Barrett's back. Ndamukong Suh. Yeah.
Well,
Unfortunately, I can't think of any more right now, which is pretty pathetic. But yeah, and then the corners are getting better. So it's just a matter of time. I mean, I don't know. The Bucks are running at 3-4 right now. Yeah, Levante David too. Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Devin White. Then you got Anton Winfield. Hopefully beats out MJ Stewart. I mean, it's just a matter of time. The Bucks are young on defense, but they're old on offense. So hopefully, it's all good. Brady fixes it up, which I think he would.
As of right now, they're saying the NFC South is the most dangerous when it comes to quarterbacks. Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Teddy Bridgewater, Tom Brady now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I want to put Bridgewater in that category yet. I still have Matt Ryan above him. I say Brees, Brady, Ryan, Bridgewater.
I mean, Brady and Brees are also going to be not just because they're in the same division now, but they're also going to be in big competition because they're wanting to break that record of the most touchdowns.
Yep.
As of right now, I think Brees is still taking it, but they've been like one apart from each other this whole time.
I also think too that Brady has the motivation that people say, "Oh, Brady can't win without Belichick, or Belichick can win with anybody." Brady's like, "Okay, you really think so?" Then I don't know if you watched the Tiger Woods Phil Mickelson match, but Sean Payton said on Twitter, "Oh, I really like this Florida version of Tom Brady." So I don't know if Brady saw that. I'm sure he did, but he's probably thinking, "Oh, okay, you really think that? So I'll show you. Game 1, Week 1, in the Superdome, New Orleans." So we'll see.
There's gonna be some monster teams. I mean, I'm not gonna say I hope the Falcons get somewhere good. At the same time, I don't, only because I just want us to get some good picks so we can build up our team better and maybe get it next season. But I got high hopes for the NFL in general. I think this is gonna be a really strong season with some strong players and some strong rivalries are gonna start building. And one of the biggest ones that I also hope to see, which kind of slipped my mind, is I don't know if they play this year, but is Juju versus Jalen Ramsey, because they had some beef last year when they played where Jalen
Yeah,
Ramsey called him out saying he's just a wannabe Antonio Brown.
sounds about right. I
So
love Jalen as a Florida State fan. I loved him. Talks trash and he backed it up there. He's getting he's getting a little he had a little bit of a rough patch, but I think he's in a contract year too with
he's
LA.
yeah he's been in LA since last year, and they traded I can't remember who. I think
They
they
traded
traded
a
a
lot.
I think they traded a
Just picks.
pick. Yeah. So who knows? Only time will tell what this NFL season holds. I'm having high hopes that some good things will come, and maybe some more trades will happen. Maybe Cam Newton will get picked up by the Pats for all we know. Maybe I feel like if he doesn't get picked up by him, I've heard another person who is, which would be a terrible mistake, is Andy Dalton to the Pats.
He's already on Dallas.
Is he? He got
Yeah.
signed to Dallas?
He's already signed with the Cowboys. So
Oh,
Dak
dang, I didn't know
Prescott,
that.
you know, he's coming up on he wants $40 million. He's not worth $40 million.
I think he's highest paid wide receiver. Quarterback now, I'm pretty sure.
Not yet. He hasn't gotten a dime yet. He's still on his rookie contract.
Who's
He's a free agent. Dak Prescott ain't getting nothing.
who's the highest paid quarterback now? I could have sworn it was Dak.
I think it's Jared Goff. Jared Goff or Aaron Rodgers.
No, I don't think it's those because um
Well, soon it's gonna be
maybe
Patrick Mahomes. In
maybe
about
it's
a month.
is it Tannehill?
No, maybe I don't know.
Hold up. Now I gotta look that up. I'm glad I got this computer right here. Highest paid QB right now.
I'm pretty sure it's Jared Goff.
Oh man, this man was in mine, but I'm oh wow. So this is recent, okay. Russell Wilson of Seattle Hawks is now the highest paid quarterback player,
Really?
let alone quarterback in the NFL. Wilson and the Seahawks have signed a 4-year, $140 million contract, which included a record of $65 million signing bonus and an average annual value of $35 million last season.
Wow.
I had him in mind, but like I thought he done bounced between being highest paid quarterback for a few times because I think it's like the second time he's been up there. I thought.
Wow.
So I know Ryan was up there at one point.
Yeah.
And then right after that was when they started skyrocketing with the pay.
Wow. But yeah, I think if Prescott doesn't sign soon, that's why I think Dallas went out and signed Andy Dalton. Like, look, Dak, if you don't want to get the money we're offering you, we got. I mean, Andy Dalton was a good quarterback before he got hurt. He did not have any talent around him. AJ Green was hurt. Their offensive line, first round pick, Jonah Williams last year, blew his knee out, so he didn't have anything at all. But a couple years ago, Andy Dalton almost won the MVP before he got hurt. I don't know if you remember that. I mean, he's a decent quarterback. He's not like a stud, but he gets the job done.
He's not Trubisky, which I think they're needing a quarterback now, ain't they,
He's
the
better
Bears?
than Trubisky.
Yeah, Trubisky was number 1 pick back when he was drafted, but like he had no accuracy. I think that year there was like maybe a few quarterbacks that were decent. Wasn't that the year Jared Goff got drafted?
No, they picked Trubisky over a player named Patrick Mahomes and another player named Deshaun Watson.
Oh shoot! Well, dang, that's a big,
Yup.
big drop right there. And to say the least, Deshaun Watson is a Georgia man, and he was a Falcons fan. That's also another thing I just remembered too. That would be awesome to take in consideration. I don't know because I read a lot of the like rumor blog things,
Yeah.
and another rumor that I was reading about is because of Texans trading Hopkins to the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
why would you want to be there?
Now they're saying there's talk about Deshaun being traded, and it's either going to be to the Pats or the Falcons.
Falcons are too stupid. I could see him going to the Patriots instead.
If he goes to the Patriots, I'm gonna be very mad. I'm gonna be so mad because
Falcons are too stupid.
I mean Watson with the brain Watson got paired up with Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
that's gonna be no way.
He already has a similar coach personality type like Bill O'Brien, but I mean Bill O'Brien's here, Belichick's there.
And
You know what I mean?
Watson's smart when it comes to going against defenses.
Yeah.
He can break a defense down easily and destroy it.
I mean, he's a stud.
He destroyed the Falcons. The team he looks up to and loves, he destroyed. There's a lot of, like Cam Newton, he loves Atlanta too. And I remember he was wanting to come to Atlanta for a short time, but that's kind of a risky pick to pick up because that can cause a lot of drama. That's a lot of pay because he wants a lot of money. And we already have Matt Ryan. He's gonna have to
Yep.
sit backside. And he wants to be a starter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see them switching it out a few times, plays like that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Cam Newton's amazing. I think he's awesome. But looking back on him now and certain things, I don't think he could take the spot Matt Ryan's already built upon.
No, Matt Ryan's the greatest quarterback of all time for Falcons history. All due respect to Michael Vick, but Michael Vick never took the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Matt Ryan did.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if Michael Vick would have played longer, if he didn't get into trouble, he probably could have done it.
Absolutely.
I mean, at the least, the Falcons, when he come back, at least the Falcons should have signed him to a backup. But I mean, at the time, he was still in trouble, even though he's out of prison for the dog allegations. But he's come back since then. He works with PETA on things, donations, fundraisers, stuff like that. He's turned his whole life around. I mean, Michael Vick's untouchable, but now you got Lamar Jackson. That's
changed the game. Michael Vick changed the game for whatever. All used to be old school pocket passer, but Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, who else?
I mean,
I want to say Patrick Mahomes.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that have looked up to Michael Vick at the mobile QB spot. Lamar's the top dog out of all of them.
Just look in college football. I mean, if it wasn't for Michael Vick, none of the spread offense. I mean, he didn't do the spread offense compared to now. Because if he was in college now, he would break every record you can think.
His only rival, McNabb.
Yeah.
That was probably his biggest rival at the time.
He was better than McNabb. McNabb had more talent around him than Vick did in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I don't know. I feel like at this point, we could also, Michael Vick, where he helped pretty much make Lamar. Without Vick, we wouldn't have Lamar, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons, every team had the chance to pick up Lamar.
Yep.
He didn't go to the
32nd pick.
Yeah, and got traded from the Eagles traded the pick. Any team could have had that man. Now, I don't want to say
the Eagles also had Carson Wentz too.
Now, I don't want to say that Ridley wasn't a good pick. He's good. I think he would have stayed till the second round.
Yeah.
I don't think any other team would have got him. The only other team that could have got him was the Panthers, and they picked up DJ Moore because that was after the Falcons. I think the Panthers had to pick their pick. They got DJ Moore, and that's their version of Ridley, pretty much. I don't want to say that in a bad way, but we had to change. I was high hopes that year that we could have got Lamar. It would have been another Michael Vick 2.0 in the city Michael Vick loved to play for.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick, I guarantee, probably would have been there helping train that boy coming here.
Yep.
And we could have we could have had one of the best running quarterbacks, best wide receiver ever. I don't want to running back wise. At the time, we had I think Freeman and Coleman. Coleman
was solid.
I mean, he tore it up in 49ers, and now he's the only running back there because Matt Breida got traded, I think. But I mean, and he could have learned under Matt Ryan at the same time too.
Yeah.
Could have taught him how to have, which I'm not saying the man ain't got an arm, but could have had a good arm. Also being taught by a man that's the best running quarterback ever.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
But that's a what if story.
It's always easy to look back on stuff, but I mean, you can crucify all the Falcons you want, but nothing is as bad as the Bears picking Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
Sad.
That's bad.
Didn't he get dropped by the Bears now?
No, not yet. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, but he's going to, unless he rips it up this year, which he's not going to.
If they don't pick him up, now they could pick up either Dak or Cam.
I think they'll just tank and get a decent quarterback. They'll get Fields or Lawrence. Who would you rather have, Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence?
I mean, you got a generational arm against, and it's weird too. They're both from Georgia, Kennesaw and Cartersville. That's a crazy thing. You got a man that's a pretty good runner. I'm not gonna say he's awful, and I mean he picked up over time. He led Buckeyes, and they played each other too, didn't they? The Buckeyes and the
great game in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, the only thing that messed up was a wide receiver was on the wrong side.
Nope. Not only that, it was, I don't know if you remember this, but late in the fourth quarter or early in the fourth quarter, Jeff Okudah stripped Justin Ross, forced a fumble. Ohio State picked it up and scored. They reviewed it. They say, no, Ross dropped it. But you can clearly tell at the time, Ross caught it, took 2-3 steps, then it got stripped. And the refs, even at the time, too, said, yeah, it was a fumble. Ohio State picked it up and scored. So, Ohio State, I think, lost that game by what, 3 points?
Yeah, I think so. Plus, they had a
Yeah.
wide receiver who was supposed to go this way and
Yeah.
took off that way.
Yep. So,
I don't know. I mean,
Ohio State got screwed.
that between two quarterbacks like that, that's kind of a hard pick, but I'd have to give it to Trevor.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would take Fields because Trevor Lawrence, he doesn't show up in big games.
But
Just
I mean,
think about it.
he's
Well, but,
starting to learn how to be a little mobile too. I mean,
yeah,
during
and
the
there's more
game,
tape on him now too.
he took off running when he went against the Buckeyes, and he got that first down.
He got a touchdown off that. I mean, more power to him, but that was Ohio State more choking in the red zone because they didn't score a touch. They had a chance to blow Clemson out of the water, and they kept settling for field goals. I told my brother, I'm like, look, this is going to come back and bite Ohio State. And it did. After they got that targeting penalty, whole game changed because then the Ohio State was scared to tackle the quarterback or else there was going to be a flag.
Man, I just hope when Trevor does come in, he goes to a good team that would treat. I don't want to say because I don't think any team really treats a player wrong, but like would treat him right with the respect and
He's
gives
a great quarterback.
Yeah, gives him the chance. I don't want him to go to the Patriots. I don't. That's the biggest thing. That's a no-no. That's the worst thing that would happen if he went to the Patriots. That's gonna be hard.
He's gonna go to Chicago.
You think he's going to the Bears?
Yeah,
Man,
Bears are gonna suck this year. They're gonna get Fields or Lawrence.
Man, I mean, I'd love to see him come back. Because he's from the state of Georgia. It'd be awesome to have an Atlanta-born quarterback, a Georgia-born quarterback in the city of Atlanta playing. But that's all. I mean, he could say no at the same time to a draft pick, just like Eli did. He could say no.
Yeah.
And wait till he gets and tell him that where he wants to go, but that's all on him. So.
Yeah. Well, it's good talking to you about this. Hopefully, we can do something like this soon.
Man, I'd love to do it again.
Insight.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Jack Tech Podcast.